these I have been trying to work with, and because there are such pretty patterns with napkins, I loved this pattern, and that's what I used there. I've got to go back and sand, and I don't know if you've worked with napkins before. There are a lot of videos out there about how to get the wrinkles out, and some of those work and some of them don't. It depends a lot on what you're going to do with that napkin. And this is not a bad one here as far as wrinkles go, but napkins are so porous, and if you're using a tile like this is a completely non-porous surface. So porous and non-porous, there's nothing there to soak up. Mod Podge, which I don't plan to use anymore because I just think there are better products, but that's all a personal preference and personal choice. There's the only thing to soak anything up is that napkin. I had some of them are really not good and are very wrinkled. Not because I didn't treat them, I did. I ironed them. I know, that's funny. We should talk about that in another video. And had them on here, had Mod Podged, put the napkin down. It had tons of wrinkles. I put a cloth over it, a piece of parchment paper, and a cloth, and ironed over it, put the waxy or plastic side down when I did that on a very low temp, and it had no wrinkles. But then when I glazed over top of it, it re-wet the surface and the wrinkles came back, and I could never get them out to my satisfaction. But I doubt it's really picking them up here. So these are not too bad. They're certainly better than if you just used Mod Podge and went with that. So I'm going to keep them, and I'm going to put them in the craft show. But I'm working with napkins to see if I can do better things with them and make them look wrinkle-free, because it just bothers me to have all the wrinkles in there. It may not bother you, and if it doesn't, that's fine. Mixed media can have a lot of different things going on. Now this is just regular cardstock with some glitter. I was trying to make some Christmas themed items, and I need to go back over these. They're not quite finished. I really like these. I think they turned out pretty well. A little heavy on the blue there. I might not do that next time. Absolutely love this one. And I do want to go back and put some varnish over these. Again, this is my first time working with these, so I think they turned out pretty well. Just the regular cardstock, you're not going to have the same problems that you would have with the napkins. Okay. And I'm going to put cork on the back of them. I'm just showing you the work in progress. All right, speaking of napkins, I'm working on how to get the wrinkles out and use them for paper craft projects where I don't have to, try it once, you'll see what I'm talking about with the wrinkles. This I ironed on, put the freezer paper here with the plastic side up against the napkin, here, the back of the napkin. Here's the napkin on top, and then I put parchment paper. So here's the freezer paper that I used. It's just the Reynolds kitchen freezer paper, and it works great. On top of this, before I put the iron to it, I put a piece of parchment paper. There is no wax or plastic on this, on either side of this. And that's what you want, because you'll get a mess if you go with the high temperature, which is what I did on these. And it works great. It doesn't burn the paper. Just smoothly iron, and on your ironing board or whatever you iron on that works for you. and I put it on high temperature. I have the pad underneath, and look how beautiful this is. And flat and all of that. So yeah, what do you do with that when you're through with it? So I want to show you some different ones that I have here, and this one's curling up a bit, but don't worry about that. I just didn't have anything on top of it. Done quite a few of these. I love this. Now think about what a cute coaster that's going to make if you do it on a tile, or even if you did a round one. There are some absolutely beautiful napkins out there. The fall ones are out now, so I've got a couple. Did a couple of those. They're so smooth. And the nautical, love that. This was from, you get so many napkins for next to nothing, $2, $3. This, if you go to, some of these are from the dollar store. This is from Dollar Tree. And these are from Tuesday Morning. And this one, so pretty, although this was a very textured napkin, so couldn't quite get all the wrinkles out of it, but there's not enough to worry with. Besides, it's a very textured looking pattern anyway. It's another one of those. Let's see if there's anything different to show you here. Yes, lemons. Love this. The lemons are so pretty. And, okay, so my problem then, I was worried about, so when I put, what am I going to put on top of these so that they don't do what the ones before them did. So I did not go back to Mod Podge. I'm experimenting now with some different things. I put that matte medium here as just a base, which of course I would have to go over with something to seal it. And that something is probably going to be what I experimented with right here. The cream coat or ceram coat, not sure how that's pronounced, which is this right here. That is a sealer, I believe sealant and varnish, at least a varnish. And it's going to take a while. It's gloss. You can get matte. I'm experimenting, but it looks like this is going to be what I'm going to end up sealing everything with. So thanks so much for joining me for this. I'm sorry about all the interruptions. I'll probably be able to cut most of them out. My husband came home, and the dogs went ballistic. And anyway, I think that's it. And wish me luck. And if you have tips on napkins and sealing them, I think I'm getting there. I'm really happy with this one. I have seen a lot of people do demos on, oh, here's how you seal it. Some of them work, some of them don't, depending, again, on what you're going to use it for. If you've got to put something over top of it, just taking a piece of tin foil and ironing over it, great, until you put that Mod Podge on there. So anyway, I hope that sharing that helped a little bit. Again, I've been doing a lot of research on this. Patio Elf is probably the person on YouTube I've seen do the most with decoupage. And she has a book that you can get, although I think it may be out of print, so what you can find is maybe not cheap, but I don't have the book. I've just seen her on YouTube, Patio Elf. And again, lots of other people do this, Shannon Green and another girl that I watched too. But none of them quite, at least in the ones I watched, had the solution for what should you use on top of this after you put it on the parchment paper, the freezer paper. Please click like and click. I put them together. Please like this video. Please click like and click subscribe. I would love for you to come back. I'd love for you to subscribe. And thanks again. Bye. Thank you so much for joining me for this part 3 of 3. I think this is the last one of these preparing for the craft fair videos. And I am not an expert. I am getting back into crafting and art after a fairly, long break of working hard and not having time for a lot of crafting. Why make these if I'm not an expert? Because I think oral histories are important, and particularly important in families. And in an upcoming video, I will share with you, if you would like, why I think it's important for me to record and interact somewhere where perhaps my grandchildren will be able to see it one day. Don't know when that will be. And know what I sound like, and maybe a little bit about who I am. Okay, thank you so much for your patience. Would love to see you again. Bye-bye.